Show us your tips. Daggy and Beaver with you for Saturday racing. What's going on, Beaver? Long time no see.
Long time no see. How long has it been?
About 12 hours.
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh, well, in person at least.
In person, it's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yes.
What's going on? Looking well?
Thank you, mates. Same for you.
Oh, thanks. What have we got here? Saturday racing, summer racing, back to normality a little bit. We've got Pakemham in action tomorrow. And an interesting Rosehill card where there's Melbourne form right through it. Anything exciting here for the weekend?
Oh, mate, there's enough there, I think. There's some okay races, not the worst in the world. Hopefully we've got some winners there.
We'll get our plugs in early. Check out progroupracing.com.au for all your racing tips there. We've got our Friday night show up now, which we did last night, for Kenzo and Moonee Valley tonight. Hopefully some winners to get you started for the weekend, as well as our tips up in an article form twice a week as well. Sign up to the mailing list, subscribe to YouTube and Spotify. Let's find some winners, eh?
Yeah, let's find some winners. Shout out to, I bumped our old mate Elliot the other day.
Yeah.
While he was fielding down at Fine Leg. I was at a cricket match, which my son was playing and Elliot was playing. He was down at Fine Leg talking races, and he tipped Milford.
Oh, good on you.
Last weekend. Yeah. Was it last weekend? Yeah. He said
before.
he liked, or the week before, yeah. So he said he liked Milford, so well done there to Elliot. At least he was doing something because he was bowling absolute garbage, but no, it's all good.
Beautiful. And thanks everyone for sending in a bit of correspondence and left some comments. All helps out. But let's get into it. Rosehill, the rail moves out 5 metres on a good track. I'm actually going to be out there, I've discovered, for a corporate event, which is nice. I have to iron the clothes. I didn't think about that.
Rosehill?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. So what are you doing? Cricket.
Watching cricket.
Watching Elliot at Fine Leg.
No, I won't be watching him tomorrow.
Look, it has been drier than it has been for a while, so a bit worried it may be on pace-ish. Last time it was in a 5 metre market, played okay, but we'll watch that. We kick off, and interestingly enough, Melbourne, as I said, Melbourne form to the fore through a lot of these races, but we kick off with the 1,800 metre benchmark 72. And have you got anything to start us off?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Kazalark from the Wallace stable. I thought its last couple of runs have been pretty good behind in decent company. Second in a Group 3 and then won a pretty convincingly its maiden at Hawkesbury. But yeah, off the back of that Group 3 run, I thought it just set off the pace there. Could do the same here and give us a sight early in the day with the Waller-Abdullah combination.
Yeah, the 1,800 metres looks the obvious next step and sets up pretty well here. So on top for me as well. I think I'm giving Nautical Miss another chance. The saddle slipped last time out and over-raced and was never really a factor. And now pretty much gets control of this race. There's not a lot of other pace here. And around $10 mark, I think can give you a nice side if you're looking for an alternative there.
Yep.
In a less than inspiring probably start to the day, let's be honest. The second is the Highway, another full highway here with 1,500 metre class 3. Anything for us?
Nah, pretty tough race here. I found it hard to really line much of this form up, as it can always happen in the highways. I was looking for 2 at, sort of around double-figure odds, and that was Radiohead and Memories. I thought they could both give us a sight. Memories in particular, ultra consistent of late, 2 wins in a second, last 3. It is drawn way off the track, so hopefully a couple of scratchings can bring it in, and if it can get a little bit of luck in running, might be the hardest to beat. It's about $10.
Cool. The third is the 1,200 metre benchmark 72. Good little race, but I am going to stick with a Melbourne visitor in Garza, Blanca. It went like absolute rocket last time out at Cranbourne. Yep. Beat a good horse, or what we think is a good horse in Greece. Gave it Winburn and went by, and comes here to what is basically a midweek race. So it's well and truly on top. Market reflects it, but I think this is going to be very hard to beat. From Tashi, who resumed nicely behind Operative, will have further improvement from that, and drawn inside should be closer. But Garza Blanca, pretty keen. Yeah,
I'm pretty keen as well. 3 starts ago, won its maiden very easily by 4 or 5, then went straight into a listed race, which is a big ask after winning a maiden, which was won by Sandpaper. Finished off okay in that and wasn't that far off from 5 or 6 lengths. And then back in grade last start and beat what we think is a good horsing, or at least a decent enough horse in Greece. This looks right up its alley.
Beautiful. We've got the 1,500 metre benchmark 78 for the girls coming up at 1,350, sorry, for the girls in race 4. Now we get a talented horse resuming here in Furumos, but is Gate 1 Karen McAvoy. Any fears? Or you're pretty keen?
I'm keen, but I think it's still a bit of a fear.
Yeah.
We've seen Frumos get stuck here before and not get a run and get murdered. Hopefully that won't happen here. I don't know that this is a overly strong race. A few winners horses coming back off a win last start, but they were in pretty ordinary company. I think this horse could be just a bit too good for these, and I've got it on top.
Yeah, it's on top. It's a thrill seeker's price for me. It's on the drift actually, but hopefully get about $283 and it's pretty comfy. We'll need to be sitting close. It hasn't shown a lot of pace, so Gate 1 does scare me. But this is the weakest race it's been in for a long time, and a lot of these are out of form. All wet trackers, so on top, uncomfortable, but just couldn't find any opposition.
Yeah, would have preferred to see J-Mac in town riding.
Yeah. Anyway, we play with what we're dealt.
Yep.
The Midway is 1,300 metres this time, as usual. Benchmark 72, where I have, I think there's 3 main chances here, maybe 3.5. But Deep Snow's flying. Nice win last time. Tommy Berry, a wide gate. Can't have everything, I suppose. But maybe further back than you'd want here. But you're getting a nice each way price to find out from Estadio, who's going to be up on pace, flying this prep. May even drag Deep Snow across from that gate. And the other one, if it's here, which I assume it's still in Persistus, is going well. So both those are drawn wide, though, but should come across with the pace, I think. Divine Breath, the other one that will go on my early quaddie, but I think that's covered the main chances. What are you made of this?
Yeah, tricky race, this one. You could probably close your eyes and pick it with a pin. The main chances are all drawn wide, as you said. Look, if I'm forced to have a pick, Estadio, I'm going to go. I think it was nice enough win last start. Gate 18, obviously the outside here. Hopefully, again, there might be a couple of scratchings that bring it in, but it'll go push forward. Hopefully, doesn't have to use too much up to get there, but it's a tough race.
The 6th is the benchmark 78, where I guess you're going to be either with or against the Shame on Us form line. Are you with or against it?
I'm going for Zoomon. Third up here. Thought the last start win at Moonee Valley was outstanding. Won B6. And first up was pretty good as well. And if you go back to last preparation, it was running in some longer listed races at Flemington and performing admirably. I think this horse has a bit of potential out to the 2,000 now, right up its alley. And the rest of these are, outside of the one you mentioned, don't have much form around them.
Yeah.
So Zoom on, clear pick on top for me.
Yeah, I ended up the same way. Ended up just penning all the lead up and saying it's the different form. As you see, you've articulated pretty well. Did better stuff last time. It comes off a big win. Gets Josh Parr and goes forward in a race of not a heap of pace, really. And I'll probably have something on Shame on Us again just because it has beat this field twice, essentially, and is $12. So that's it. I don't really want to talk about much else here. Don't think there's much else to talk about. The first leg of the quaddie is a 1,200 metre benchmark 78, where I like Rainbow Connection as a horse. It was sat 3 wide the whole way and was pretty brave last time out. Drawn inside here, and dry track has always been the key to this horse. It's come back quite well. I think it's going to run well again here from Star Beretta, who keeps jumping through hoops and is $10. But both those, the last 2 wins have been pretty impressive. So I'm going to stick with them. A lot of these are either well out of form or, again, perhaps looking for some cut out of the track. So that's why I was looking at it. Are you going elsewhere?
Yeah, I am going elsewhere, but not with a whole heap of confidence in the race. I think this is, again, many chances here, and the market suggests that, other than sort of the bottom 1 or 2. They're all pretty even in the market. I've gone for American President.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good form when last in work, last preparation, although seemed to be on the wetter tracks, which is a bit of concern. But look, last start I didn't think it was so bad, and on a good track. It resumed and it finished 9th, but it was only less than 3 lengths behind the Thelric at Kembla in an open class race. So I don't think that's a bad run. I think it'll be improved by that. It gets the 1.5 kilo claim here and at double figure odds. May give you a sight.
Beauty. Race 8, 1400 metres, benchmark 88, the highest rated race on the card. How interesting is? And any intel on this rider on the favourite was the other question I had.
No, I have gone for it. I did look at that and I went, what the?
Apparently an Irish jockey. That's all I could find.
Yeah. Well, I hope it goes all right because I've tipped it.
Yeah.
When I did the form here, I kind of started at everything else. And then when I got back to Sur La Mur, I just went, it's just gone better than these. It's got form around Roots, Hope in Your Heart, in Group 3 company, and run well in listed company and been less than a couple of lengths off them in all of those races. I just think that's better form than this race. In some of these that are midway to highway type horses. So I had it on top. I thought the $4.50 was pretty good value. It's drawn well enough, and as long as you can sort of sit midfield and finish down the middle, I think it's a nice bet.
Yeah, I agreed with everything you said, except for I was trying to work out who the rider was.
Yeah.
I went the same way as well, essentially. I am forgiving Titanium Power, who had to sit outside lead last time and lost a plate on the way. So back to Rosehill, which is its happier hunting ground, and getting a lead here for Rory Hutchings around the $8, $9 mark, I think, is one of the better value options on the card. But they're the main two for me. Okay, I have been saying Maher and Par and Deficit have come back well. Maybe a little bit disappointing last time, so the last chance for both of them when it comes to the quaddie. The 9th, 1100 metre benchmark 88, and, well, not much really to analyse here. IME came out and brained him first up. Gets the same setup here. Should be in a stalking role again in a race full of, again, nonnies, really.
Yep.
Price reflects it. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. Good first up win. Outstanding, as you said, and trialled well since. Seems to be in good form and well weighted for a race like this. 54, perfect sit. Super hard to beat.
Beauty. And the last is the benchmark 72 over the 1500 metres. Estadio Mestalla was a lovely Australian debut. Is that how you're going to stick?
Yeah, it was a lovely Australian debut. Quite surprised you can get 6-4 at the moment. Don't know why, probably because of the gate. And
I'm tipping if the other short price favourites win all day, it won't be that price.
Yes, and it's gone up a little bit in weight, but so has pretty much everything else. There's a couple of horses coming off some decent runs recently. Newlywed looks like it's got a bit of potential, and Kamagui's going okay. And African Daisy was pretty good first up as well at Scone. Thought that was a nice enough win. So, but this, I think they're expecting this can go on to bigger and better things and would want to be winning this. The step up here or staying at the 1500 where it won its last start is okay.
Excellent. Not much to add. Yep, that's about it for me as well. The Sydney Quaddie. I'll run through this and see what we can do here. See if we can maybe find a little bit of value somewhere. The first leg, 1 at Rainbow Connection, 6 Sawami, 10 at Star Beretta, 11 Amathuba. Second leg, 5 Titanium Power, 10 Sur La Mur, 13 Maher and Par, 14 Deficit. Third leg, 3 Key Largo, 6 On the Lead, and 10 I Am Me. And we'll come home with 3 Estadio Mestalla and 14 Newlywed. So short and skinny today.
Yeah, I like it.
Your best in value, we got one?
My best is race 10, number 3, Estadio Mestalla. I think that's good. And my value, I'm hoping you can get about $5 Sur La Mur. So I'll have it race 8, number 10.
I'm going to make my best race 3, number 2, Garza Blanca. Big day might be a decent day out for the Maher-Eustace stable in Sydney. And value on a tricky card for value, race 7, number 5, Titanium Power for me. As we head south to Pakenham. As I've said, check out progetracing.com.au for everything going on there. The rail moves to the true good track again. Nice to see some good tracks back in Melbourne as well as we head into summer. And interesting card, 9-race card with some pretty good betting chances, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
The first is benchmark 78 over the 2,000 metres, where one of them comes up. Braden Star was a great Australian debut, I thought. Slightly weaker race, but charmed in and ran away and pretty much owned that field. And just looking through here, it looks like a pretty similar field to me. Only danger is down the bottom there, Matron Bullwinkle, who obviously has plenty of upside, the 4-year-old down there. How have you started the day?
Yeah, same. Braden Star looks like it's packed with plenty of potential. There is only 2 chances. Matron Bullwinkle was good last start. It didn't get a run, and then when it did, it took the gap and snuck home. But Braden Star might be just a cut above.
The second is a benchmark 78 for the girls. This is a very interesting little race. Spent probably more time than any on this race, and not really sure I came up with an answer. I've got, look, I think my Yankee girls trolled up pretty well for this. Gets Blake Shin, who is the go-to down there for me at the moment, and an each-way price is going to, I think, runs well here. And I'm going to have a watch down on the lightly raced Kiwi first starter, No Secret, who's trolled up pretty well. The last 2 starts in New Zealand were, I know it was much weaker New Zealand grade, but was very impressive. Went back and watched the last couple there, and is $14. So they're the 2 I'll play with, but there are a few of mine in this race that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I've gone for my Yankee girl.
Cool.
Thought its form around last preparation is slightly better than this. Last run before it went out, ran a nice 6th behind Daytona Bay, and that was probably at the end of its prep. And then prior to that, had some really nice wins at Flemington behind some decent horses. I thought it was pretty good in some of those, including beating Adela Moore, which it meets here and beat it by 2.5 lengths. So no reason why it can't bounce back and run well while fresh. And you're right, couple down in the market, no secret. Could run well, as you mentioned, coming over from New Zealand. And I thought Centiro goes really well first up from the Payne stable. So I thought those 2 were horses that you could keep an eye on.
Yeah, and has been pretty good to us, Santiro, over the last couple of years. The third is a 1,200-metre benchmark 70, where this was just as tricky. Well, this was probably trickier, actually. What do you do? You've probably been the one that's looked for Invincible Caviar each time out. You forgiving the blame and the playing up in the gates and everything that happened there?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm going around it here. I'm going to go for the first up horse in Jaconi from the McAvoy stable. It's just ultra consistent. Doesn't run a bad race. Again, a horse with some decent form, back in last preparation. Hopefully it's fit enough and ready to go here. Gets a 2-kilo claim in the gun draw. Thought it on top and 1 down in the market. Double figure odds, just Jono resuming as well. It can run well first up, but Jaconi on top for me.
Didn't like the race at all. I'm actually going to spec one. Hasn't run for 3 years, but I'm surprised it was a 7-year-old actually when I went and looked at it. But off a year off, 2 very nice trials for Vongole, who comes in here in his 20s. A throw at the stumps as much, I think, but I thought both trials were great. And in a previous life, may well have been the best horse in this race. But as we've said, these ones off long spells don't tend to have a lot of success first up for us. But at the price, I'll have something very small to find out. From Sig Positano, another one that's a long time between white wins. And Jaconi did trial okay, was ridden out a few times. Maddie Lloyd on, yeah. So wasn't really keen to play that short at the price. So just a couple out wide for me there. Benchmark 78 comes up next over the 1,200 metres. What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm going to put Squid Game on top.
Yeah.
Around the 550 mark. I think that's a good price first up. Has won before first up. Wasn't asked to do much in its trial.
I don't think it was asked to do anything.
Finished 20 lengths behind him, but was 4th. So wonder what finished behind it.
Yeah. Both those trials were weird.
Yeah, so a bit of a weird trial, as you say. But prior to that, was racing against the likes of Chain of Lightning, beat Veranovska down the straight at Flemington, which is no mean feat, and second behind Inundation. So its form against some really good quality horses is very good.
Yeah.
Much better than this quality of field. So I think the 550 is a good price to see where it is at. Hopefully it doesn't get too far out and gate 9's okay, so Coffee can posse it up and see how we go.
Paddy Payne's got a full float for tomorrow. He's got a lot of first uppers, and I think the market will probably tell us something about a lot of them because I wasn't sure where to put like it and Santiro, and there's another one up soon. I'm pretty sure that I just couldn't get a great feel on off the trials, but maybe it's just how his trials are. I've got Najim Suhail on top. Blake Shin goes on off a nice run up the straight, showed plenty of pace there, dropping grade suits, and will run well from Dance to Dubai, who has shown nice pace through its trials as well, and should be along up on pace there somewhere along the river. That would be the other one for the early quaddie. Hit the line nicely along the alongside Najim Sual last time out, and then went to Moonee Valley Red at 9.55, just didn't suit. So I think it'll be making its run with the favourite here, and again might be the one just outside the market. 1,000 metres, benchmark 70, hasn't left me with a lot because there's probably 5 horses here I would back in another race, coming off wins or performances I wanted to follow. And I'm not quite sure how to split them up. For the sake of a tip, I've got Red Card on top, who was a nice win at the Valley, off a nice win in Sydney. But Duce was a nice win too, comes across from gate 15. I can talk about Little Miss Kubi, who had issues in town and is a big price, trialled well. Fishin sat outside lead last time, is $16. I can keep going, so I'm not left with a lot. I'll probably play the longer ones I've mentioned more than anything, because small investment. Did you have any better clarity? I really confused myself here.
Yeah,
There'd be a race to follow, I think.
Yeah, I think there's some decent horses in this race. I've gone for Red Card as well. I struggled to split the top two, but I thought the one gate was right up its alley, and it could posse up really nicely there, if not lead, and be hard to run down. Duce's got to get across, get a spot, carry 2.5 extra kilos, and is a point skinnier in the market. So I just thought Red Card on the basis of that. And then sort of my pick of my knockout horses was Ribble. Thought it could run well for first up.
Yeah.
Its last prep wasn't too bad against some decent quality. So it was my knockout chance. But Red Card as well, mate.
Yeah. I think this will be a race that we'll get some of these come through the Saturday Caulfields and dry tracks and run well the next month or so. The quaddie starts off with a 1,200 metre benchmark 100, where, well, I'm a little bit keener here. The top weight Corner Pocket is best horse in race, coming off a nice enough run at the Valley. This is nearly a group class horse, only lightly raced, very honest, gets a perfect run here and a bit of a claim to help out, and is, I think, a nice price, around the 450. From Felicia, who has finally shown a bit of pace in her last couple of jump outs and gets Blake Shin, will run well. I'm pretty keen. They've got the race between them, actually. What about you?
Yeah, I liked Corner Pocket as well. I was quite surprised by the price. I thought 450 was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got placings in Group 2 races behind Inspirational Girl, and then last in ran third at last start at a listed race behind ASAR. Looks to be a fairly decent horse. I expect it to jump probably in front here.
Yep.
And be hard to run down.
Just lead us back,
Yeah, in the one gate. So I thought it was a good price to see where it's at. And my value bet would be Gawa resuming here. Can go all right.
Mm-hmm. The feature is the listed Pakenham Cup over the 2,500 metres. What about the state of these Melbourne stayers? Just sick of all of them.
It's bad, eh?
I don't even know what to talk about here. Might be a good day for Lindsay Smith's stable. I've got Kissinger on top. At least it's winning. Dry Tracker. Ollie's got a nice relationship with it now, and should have all but won its last 4 just about. And some of these would struggle to, what do you say? Have struggled to come anywhere near winning anything in the last 4. So on top from Milford, scared of the fact that, as we've said before, the Savabills don't tend to run 2,500, but it was a nice enough win in a race. What have you found here?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with old mate Elliott here with Milford if he's backing up. I thought its last start win was pretty good and in a group company, and comes back here and drops in grade. Only slightly up in the weight, but I'm hoping that the extra distance is okay and it can handle that. You're right, bit of a question mark there, but Blake Shin on board, best jockey in the race at the moment, so got it on top.
Cool. The 1,400 metre Gold Bullion comes up next. Where I'm keen again. 2 chances. Looks like Elvis going life now is down to Melbourne first up as a sniper and knocking off one of these. It's done its last couple of preps. Trials have been great. Gets Craig Williams and will run well here, as it has done. From Jimmy the Bear, who comes through the Golden Eagle, which was given no chance. Again, inside gate, such an honest little trier, and both will run really well here. As the market's so I'm not really helping too many people, but I think that's about it with a gap back to Regards Marie, who gets Blake Shin. Anything for you that you want to really pick out?
I'm going to flip it the other way. I'm going to go Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Jimmy the Bear. Hopefully just sits a little bit closer and gets to put a gap on. Looks like Elvis and can kick on and hold on. So Paddy the Pain. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You should name a horse that.
You should.
It's one of the horses he's got on his float that
Yeah,
you were thinking about.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think it can run well as well. So like all his chances that day. So Jimmy the Bear, trained by Paddy the Pain.
Cool.
For me.
Big day for Paddy.
Yep.
The last is a benchmark 78 over the mile. How are we finishing off?
Yeah, this is a tricky race here. Really found it hard to come up with something here. I went for a little bit of value. I settled on Bel Toro. Just ran on strongly against French Emperor last start. Thought it could run well again. The outside draw, hopefully not too big a problem. It does want to come down the middle of the track, so I thought it could be hardest to beat.
Yeah, Bel Toro, Chicago Bear, Cena's Express, and Aaron Bay will be the four that go in my quaddie. What order I put him in there now is probably Chicago Bear. It was a nice debut in Australia. Just held up a little bit up the straight there, but hit line pretty well. Inside gate, B Shin seems to be the flavour of the day. From Bel Toro, who beat at home last start. Aaron Bay wasn't particularly given much of a chance first up. Yeah, so 5 from 4 from me, predominantly there. Speaking of the quaddie, how are you going to line up your Pakenham quaddie?
Pakenham quaddie. Let me have a crack. First leg, which is race 6. I'm going number 1, Corner Pocket. Number 3, Felicia. Number 8, Scissor Step. Number 15, Umgawa.
Mm-hmm.
Race 7, the second leg, I'm going number 2, Milford. Number 3, Future Score. Number 5, 5th position. Number 6, Kissinger. Race 8, I'm going number 1, Regards Marie. Number 2, Looks Like Elvis. Number 5, Jimmy the Bear. And in the last, I'm going to finish off with number 4, Bel Toro. Number 5, Chicago Bear. Number 8, Aaron Bay. Number 10, Sharp Response. That's it.
Still waiting for Sharp Response.
Yeah, I know. I'll throw it in.
Waiting. My best in value at Pakenham, race 1, number 7, Braden Star's my best. And race 3, number 6, Vongole. We'll have a shy at the stumps there from the fence. Beaver.
Yeah. Race 6, number 1, Corner Pocket is my best bet. And my value bet is race 4, number 3, Squid Game.
Lovely. What do we got up in Queensland? We're at Doomben tomorrow.
Doomben. I had a few.
Doomben, apparently.
I had a few up in Doomben. Let me just find that for you. My first one came up in race 2, number 1, Kovalaika. I think it'll be winning and getting us off to an early start there. And then my other bets came up later in the day. I've got race 6, number 3, Johnny Rocker. Then I had race 8, number 8, Contemptuous. And we're going to get out in the last race 9, number 3, Chinny Boom.
Lovely. Good job, Beaver. Good punning tomorrow, guys. Check out progretracing.com.au and we'll be back sometime next week, to do either a Wednesday or a Friday night preview. Check out for our articles up twice a week as well on progretracing.com.au. Subscribe, leave some feedback, all that sort of stuff, and we will talk soon. Catch you guys.